Good morning. It's day 40 of the phase 4 of the remote learning packet. So I have already done 2 videos on the Great Barrier Reef and on the Aurora Borealis. Today I'm going to do an in-depth analysis of the Mariana Trench and Mount Everest. And then we have questions to answer. Okay, so let's get started. This is going to be kind of a long video, just so you know. Okay, that's the Great Barrier Reef. Great Barrier Reef, if you need to review that, that is a separate video. All right, Mariana Trench. Okay, the nonfiction header up here says, the Mariana Trench is the lowest point in the world. It lies beneath the deep waters of the Pacific Ocean. The first people to explore the Mariana Trench were Don Walsh and Jacques Picard. They traveled in a steel capsule made to withstand the crushing pressure tens of thousands of feet below the sea. The Mariana Trench, Western Pacific Ocean, east of the Mariana Islands. In all the oceans, nowhere else so deep, so dark with secrets men won't let it keep, it yields to human eyes in submarines and then, full of itself, goes back to sleep. You wouldn't dream that hidden at its core, life would go on as it has done for more than most of time, those 7 heavy miles of water pressed down upon its floor. To fathom it at last, to put on show all that it holds laid out in a neat row, may happen sooner than to do that to the mind of someone whom you think you know. All right, I'm going to probably read this a couple times, but let's take a look at structure. It's 3 stanzas, 4 lines to a stanza. There is a rhyme scheme here, and it's actually a pretty heavy one. So we have deep, keep, sleep, so rhyme, rhyme, and rhyme. Core, more, floor, again, so we have rhyme, rhyme, rhyme. It skips that 3rd line, okay? So, show, row, no. Again, rhyme here, and rhyme here. It skips that 3rd line. So when you're looking at this, looking at the structure, it's important. Again, you have 3 stanzas, 4 lines to a stanza, officially known as a quatrain. You have a rhyme scheme, and this is a poem that you have to keep your rhythm going. You have to read it the way it's meant to be read, because you will lose meaning very easily, particularly down in this last stanza. Those last 2 lines are really difficult to read unless you are keeping the rhythm in your mind and trying to maintain your rhythm. So let's talk about imagery. We have nowhere else so deep, so dark, so deep, so dark with secrets. All right, that's an interesting piece of imagery there about the ocean. And then full of itself goes back to sleep. I don't entirely agree with that, but I'm not the poet. All right, life would go on as it has done for more than most of time. All right, it's reminding you that the Mariana Trench is an ancient structure, probably basically as old as the Earth or very close to it. It does give you a little bit of an idea here about it being 7 heavy miles, not just 7 miles, 7 heavy miles of water pressed down upon its floor. So that use of language right there, it's supposed to make you feel that weight there. So not just 7 miles, 7 heavy miles of water pressed down upon its floor. And then this last one, where this one gets dense. The first time you read it, I lost the rhythm of it, and then I lost the meaning. I had to go back and reread this. So to fathom it at last, to understand it at last, and remember, it's a bit of a trick here because fathom has 2 meanings. Fathom means to understand, and fathom is also a unit of measure for water, for deep water. You'll talk about 4 fathoms down, 5,000 fathoms down. I think it's out of use now, but you'll see it if you read old books. You will see that language, fathom. So the writer's having a bit of fun here in that he's using fathom for both of its meanings, for depth of an ocean and for understanding something. So That's pretty clever right there. To fathom it at last, to put on show all that it holds, laid out in a neat row. Notice the language here, okay? To take all of what it is and then put it out in a neat row. Now think about it. The Mariana Trench is basically barely explored. I was about to say unexplored, but those two guys were down there. But no, not many people have been there. There have been more people on the moon than there have been to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. So to understand it, to put everything out in a neat row, is going to be hundreds of years from now. We still don't have the technology to put a large submarine down there at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. So that's something, it's going to be a very long time before you can put everything that it holds laid out in a neat row. But as long as this takes, knowing the mind of someone who you think you know is going to take longer. And that's what this stanza is talking about, is that the Mariana Trench would be easy to figure out rather than the mind of someone whom you think you know. So with these things in mind, I'm going to read it again. The Mariana Trench, Western Pacific Ocean, east of the Mariana Islands. In all the oceans, nowhere else so deep, so dark, with secrets men won't let it keep. It yields to human eyes in submarines and then, full of itself, goes back to sleep. You wouldn't dream that hidden at its core, life would go on as it has done for more than most of time. Those 7 heavy miles of water press down upon its floor. To fathom it at last, to put on show all that it holds laid out in a neat row, may happen sooner than to do that to the mind of someone whom you think you know. Now, I played around with the rhythm a little bit just to emphasize what the writer is talking about in this last stanza, about how the Mariana Trench would be easy to figure out and lay out to show everything that it holds than the mind of someone whom you think you know. So an interesting little twist there at the end. Okay, this video is long enough. Good luck. All right, we'll be taking the questions in a different video.